Hi there, Joy Seeker. Thank you so much again for joining me. This is the tapping series. We did a little intro to tapping on our previous video, and now we're going to be talking about the basic recipe, which is Gary Craig's very popular and super powerful kind of condensed tapping system. And this one doesn't use the top of the head as the beginning, but the point right between the eyebrows in the center of the forehead, and does not use necessarily the wrists. You can actually just avoid the wrist altogether when you do the basic recipe. However, I like it as a nice closing point after doing the karate chop point as your setup. So in the basic recipe, what you do differently than what you do with the story, which is the kind of tapping that you find the most on the internet, is that you really tune in to the sensation that you want to tap out and do a couple of rounds of literally just feeling it, which can be a little bit intense for some people, which is why the story, which is more conversational and a little bit more on the chill side, is the one you'll find most on the internet. Because when you are dealing with something like anxiety, PTSD, ADHD, or you have a neurodiverse form of thinking or interpreting the world, if you have a difficult situation going on in your life and you just go off and do that on the internet, some people might actually end up more triggered than they were at the beginning of the video. You are doing it on your own, so you'll be able to tell if this is what feels right to you. Personally, I think the basic recipe is lightning fast and works really, really well. When you are ready to face that issue and move past it, this is your one. Okay, so we're gonna just do a simple one for anxiety where I'm gonna show you exactly how to do it, and then you're just gonna come up with your own script accompanied by the workbook, which has prompts to help you get started and just do it on your own with how it feels to you in that moment. So drink water. To help the energy in motion, aka emotion, move. Rate your feeling. Right now, I'm not feeling particularly anxious, but I'm going to say that I'm a little bit of a 5 on an upcoming business event. So I'm going to say that I'm a 5 out of 10, knowing that 10 is 250,000 people, where I'm going to give a TED Talk speech. It's going to be on YouTube, translated to 20 languages, and oh my God, I'm wearing the world's worst, dirtiest, and most torn outfit. I'm covered in disgusting smelling coffee, and all of my material is gone, and none of my team is there. And then I'm like, 5? Maybe I'm at a 4. I think I'm going to put myself at a 4. 4 out of 10 when I rate myself like that. Good. Now that we've done that, I'm going to start at the setup point, right here in the fleshy part of my karate chop in my non-dominant hand, using 2 fingers of my dominant hand, and I'm going to start simply by tapping with a little force, saying, even though I feel this anxiety, all this anxiety about this business event, even though I feel all this anxiety, I deeply and completely love, accept, and forgive myself. I'm already personally feeling something in my lower belly area. That's where I personally feel the anxiety the most, so I know that I'm already tuned into it. When you're not so in tune again with your body, you don't know exactly how it works or where your anxiety or that feeling that you're having usually locates in. That's why we do the first round of tapping entirely dedicated to the sensation that we want to tap out, or the physical feeling that you might be having. So we start at the top, right in between the eyebrows, saying this anxiety. So basically what you're going to do is tap and name the emotion. So it can be this anxiety, this anger, or this headache even. Yes, tapping for headache. And then you're going to just repeat that in every single one of the points by really tuning into that sensation. So it's going to be this anxiety, all of this anxiety, all of this anxiety, all this anxiety around this business event, all this anxiety in my body, all of this anxiety that I feel in my lower belly, for example, all of this anxiety that makes me so uncomfortable. And then once you do the basic, you go now to the top of the head, and still, that was your first round. You're going to complete it here, and you're going to start again, tuning into that very same sensation. And if it's something that you rated at above a 7 or 8, do 3 rounds of this tuning into, because you really want to be able to feel it and then flush it out. So it's going to be this anxiety, all of this anxiety that I feel about this event, all this anxiety in my belly, all this anxiety in my hands, all this anxiety in my lower belly, all of this anxiety, all this anxiety that I feel in my body. And then when you're ready to move on, after you've done your 2 to 3 tuning into, I'm ready to let it go now. So you start saying that you are ready to let go, that you are willing to let go, that you are willing to get past this feeling or this sensation. And what you want to do is use phrases that are positively saying, I acknowledge that I have this, but I am ready, willing, and choosing to let it go now. It's important that you say now in some of your steps so that your subconscious mind gets the order that it's now in this moment. I've tuned into the feeling, you know what I want out, this is the moment I want you to get it rid of. Just completely remove it. So once you've done that, and you've tapped in the points that we covered in the first video, and that are also available in your workbook, so all good, be calm, this is only a teaching session, you're gonna go in and really go for the gold, like really deep. So this I learned from Brad Yates and Gary Craig. Both of them use it all the time, and they talk about releasing the energy at a deep cellular level. And remember, our cells are intelligent. Our cells know which response to produce to a certain chemical, and our emotions produce chemicals in the body. So when we're saying at a deep cellular level, we're actually and literally speaking to our cells in the body, which are intelligent and know that certain emotions release certain chemicals, like for example, anxiety and cortisol, that you want to release it at a deep cellular level. This is a subconscious order. So a lot of the times, things that you do in coaching or tapping don't make a lot of conscious sense. But remember that we are 95% subconscious mind, if not more. Some scientists go between 95 to 97% of our body is controlled by the subconscious mind. So it doesn't have to make 100% sense to you in the front here in your conscious mind. It just has to make sense to the subconscious, who is the one receiving the orders with the tapping. So what you would like to do is say something like, I release this anxiety. I release all of this anxiety. I am willing to release all of this anxiety. I release this anxiety at a deep cellular level. I release all of this anxiety at a deep cellular level. I choose to let it go at a deep cellular level. I choose to let it go now. And then you can add, this is a personal that I have added myself, across all dimensions, across all timelines, across all lifetimes. I like to add this particular bit of information because the subconscious mind stores information from the mitochondrial DNA of our relatives, and this is something that you can also research on the side about epigenetics and how trauma can be passed from generation to generation in DNA by making you more susceptible to trauma and trauma response. So by allowing yourself to remove it and let it go at a deep cellular level, and also generationally and across all lifetimes, all generations, all the things that could be stored in your DNA, which is so powerful and amazing, just the amount of information that our bodies hold, you are really giving your subconscious mind the order to like really remove all of this, really go in. And then once you've done that for up to 3 rounds, depending on where you rated yourself, since I rated myself at a 4, I would do probably 2 rounds of this. Then you would tap in the opposite feelings of what you want. So now you're going to be telling for 1 round your subconscious mind that it feels good to let this go, that it feels safe to let this go, that you're so happy to let this go, because the prime directives of the subconscious mind tell us that your number 1 goal as the subconscious is to keep you alive. And to keep you alive, it just means surviving. It doesn't necessarily mean thriving. So in order to preserve your body, you are letting it know, this is actually making me happy. This is good for me. This is going to preserve us longer. So that's why we add this layer in. So it's going to be, it feels so good to let go of this anxiety now. I feel so safe letting go of this anxiety. I'm so happy letting go of this anxiety. It feels so good in my body to let this go now. I feel so peaceful letting go of this anxiety. I feel so calm letting go of this anxiety. It feels so good to finally let go of all of this anxiety at a deep cellular level and across all timelines, all generations, and all forms of life. And then once you've done that for 1 round or 2 rounds, depending on how you're feeling, then you're gonna tap in the good stuff, right? So if you were anxious about your business event like I was, you're gonna be doing something like, I'm so excited about this business event. I feel so proud of myself for going for it. Even though I had all that anxiety, I feel so much more confident now. I feel so proud of myself for going for it. I feel so good going for it. I feel so excited to show people my work. It feels so good in my body to know that I can do it. I got everything I need and all that it takes to make this work. And so just tap in what feels good to you, what you want to feel. And you'll notice how quickly this starts to go up. And I want you to add 3 rounds of this, regardless of whether you are feeling at a 4 or an 8, just add 3 layers of this, tapping the good in, and then finish by saying that even though you used to have those feelings of anxiety and overwhelm, that you deeply and completely love, accept, and forgive yourself. And the basic recipe ends here. However, I personally like to tap the wrists together, because there is a tapping point there, just like there is in the karate chop point, and to just kind of do a close from the karate chop point to the wrists. I leave it up to you. I hope that this was empowering and that you learned a lot about the basic recipe and how to layer in your own tapping session. Let me know how it went. Screenshot this, send me a selfie, let me know how it goes, and feel free to teach this to someone else, because when you teach, you learn more, and you are going to be helping someone else so much by showing them what tapping can do for them. I am so blessed and honored to be part of your journey. Thank you so much for trusting me, and I will see you on our next video, which will be shorter, because now you know all the tools, and I'm just going to show you the recipe, which you probably have already encountered on the internet at least 1 time. Thank you so much, and I see you on the next one.